Okay, chapter 5.2, rates. Now rates is kind of neat. It's fun. It has a practical application, and I'm going to show that to you right now. Say that you get through college and you're making a nice paycheck. You're making $120 an hour. That looks like this, $120 over an hour. And you're interested in finding out how much you make a minute. Okay, so we're going to use what's called a unit. And a unit is a single thing, okay, 1. All right, a unit equals the number 1. And that's basically what we want to figure out. And so you can find any unit rate if you know how much there is in 1. For instance, there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Or we could say there is 1 hour is the same as 60 minutes. Either way I write this, it's equal to 1 because 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. Just like if I put 2 over 2, that's equal to 1. I can also write 2 plus 2 over 4, which happens to be equal to 1. I could come up with anything like 12 over 3 times 4. That happens to be 12 over 12, which is equal to 1. So I'm trying to show you that it doesn't matter if we use minutes or hours or regular numbers. We could even use like inches. There's inches to feet. Okay, we say there's 12 inches in 1 foot. We could say that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. As long as it's equal on top to the bottom, as long as the bottom and the top are equal, then your fraction or your ratio ends up equaling 1. And 1 has always been kind of a magic number. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to apply unit rates. Okay, this is kind of complicated. It's not actually hard. It just is sort of hard to make sense of. So say I make $120 an hour. That was our original problem, and I want to find out how much I make a minute. So we're going to multiply by 1. And remember, whenever I multiply by 1, I get the same thing, and that's what you need to remember. But instead of using the number 1, we're going to use a ratio that represents 1. Okay? Since I'm trying to get from hours to minutes, I'm going to put my hours and my minutes in. And I think to myself, well, there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And the most important thing is that we get if there's hours on the bottom and we're trying to get rid of hours and be left with minutes, okay, that I make sure that I write it down so that the hours are opposite the minutes so that I can simplify before I multiply. Just like in fractions, if I have 1/3 times 3/5, I can simplify those 3's out of there to equal 1, and that leaves me with 1/5. Okay. This is the fraction method. We did this when we multiplied fractions. The same thing works with unit rates. Now I could have put 60 minutes equals 1 hour, and this would work okay, except that I wouldn't actually be changing to minutes because I would have hours on the bottom, and I can't cross out hours on the bottom with hours on the bottom. I could only simplify something on the numerator with something in the denominator, top to bottom. Okay, so that's that. So we're gonna real quick just start all over again. 120. Maybe I should go back to my blue color or a similar blue color. $120 per hour is what I make, and I want to find out how much I make per minute. So I'm going to put hours on the top so that they cancel, minutes on the bottom, and I'm going to remember that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Then these cancel, and when I multiply, I get 120 times 1 is still 120. And this is 1 hour. Whenever you cross out, it becomes 1, right? So this is over minutes. And I have 60. Okay, 60 is left on the bottom. 1 times 60 is 60. 120 times 1 is 120. And then basically I just have a improper fraction that I have to simplify. And 120 over 60 is basically $2 per minute. So I make $2 per minute. $120 per hour is the same as $2 per minute. And I think that makes sense to you. What happens if I want to go the other direction? Say I really got a good education, a really good job, and I make $3 a minute. And I'd like to find out how much I make per hour, or per day, or per year. We can keep going with this kind of thing. So $3 per minute, and I'm going to multiply by 1. Every time I multiply by 1. This time I want minutes on top because I want those to cancel, and I want hours on the bottom. So there's still 60 minutes in 1 hour. So I start with my minutes and hours because I'm going to want to cancel the minutes. That leaves me with 1 and 1. Okay, and then I put those together. This time, instead of dividing by 60, I end up multiplying by 60. 3 times 60 is 180, and I still have the dollars over 1 hour. Okay, so $180 an hour is what I get when I go from 360 minutes times 60 minutes in an hour. So this is my factor of 1. I'm multiplying by 1. Now if I wanted to change it to days, how many hours are in a day? Put hours on the top and days on the bottom. And there are 24 hours in 1 day. And now I'm going to have to multiply 180 times 100 times 24. That's a little more complicated, and it might be time for a calculator. Or we can just do some real quick multiplication. That was supposed to be 16. Okay, so it looks like, if my math is right, and it might or might not be, it looks like I would make $4,320 a day if I were working for $3 a minute and I worked for a whole day, 24 hours. Now, that means no sleeping or eating or doing anything like that. Just if I want to make a quick $4,000, and actually it might be worth it. It'd be kind of nice to make $4,320 in a day and then not work anymore that month. It'd be a bit of a sacrifice, but you could see how you might want to do that. Usually we're looking for unit rates, though, so we'll start for something bigger. We'll start with something bigger. So this is 36 people per year. All right, so it could be that I'm a dentist and I fix a filling for 36 people every year. Now, that's not a lot. Probably a dentist would do more than that, but we want to figure out maybe how many people I would see per month. So we're going to figure out how many months are in a year. We'll put years on the top and months on the bottom. And then I say, oh, well, there are 12 months in 1 year. Okay, and then my years cancel. That leaves me with the months. 36 times 1 is 36, and I still have people. And now I have months. Months are left, but I also have 12, so it's 36 over 12, and so I have to simplify that one more time. 12 goes into 36 3 times, so that's 3 people per month. Does that make sense? 3 people per month, per 1 month. What if I had 12 inches per foot, and we wanted to find out what the unit rate is for a yard? 12 inches per foot. Oh, that doesn't look right. Let's make that a T. And we're going to change it to yards. So we've got feet on top and yards on the bottom. Remember, we're just always crossing those out. And there are 3 feet in 1 yard. So my feet cancel, leaving me with yards. 12 times 3 is 36 inches, because I'm left with inches, per 1 yard. See, 1 times 1 is 1. 12 times 3 is 36. And I've gotten rid of feet, and I'm left with inches per yard. 36 inches per yard. That's how that goes. That's all you have to do for this lesson. Actually, there's probably some other things, but this is the concept that we're building on. If we look at example number 1, in a jalapeno pepper eating contest, a contestant eats 70 peppers in 3 minutes. So that's 70 peppers in 3 minutes. And we might want to find out what the unit rate is. Okay, so that would be, this is a ratio, we're done right now, but if we wanted to change it to a unit rate, I could say, well, how many peppers does he eat in 3 minutes? Or in 1 minute. That's going to be a little bit hard because 3 does not go into 70 equally. 3 goes into 30 equally, and then it goes into 60 equally, but it doesn't go into 70 equally, so we'd end up having a fraction. Your book doesn't ask you to simplify this down to a unit rate. Say that you ate 55 peppers in 4 minutes, right? A rate that represents this situation. That's one you're supposed to do on your own, so I guess I'm not going to do it for you. Okay, I will anyway. 55 in 4 minutes. 55 in 4 minutes, that's really all you have to do. You just have to say what it is. It's 55 peppers in 4 minutes. Okay, it's like a fraction, it's a ratio, and then we have to figure out how to convert it. Okay, so their next problem, they give you unit example number 2. In orbit, a space shuttle travels at 70,000 miles in 4 hours. So that's miles in 4 hours. And then it says, how far does it travel in 1 hour? So how many miles per hour is it going? If we know how far it travels in 4 hours, we can figure out how far it travels in 1 hour. So this is a little different because we're not. We want to just change this to 1 hour. So we're going to use kind of the ratio thing, and we're going to change it to 1 hour, and then we're going to have to think to ourselves, how do I go from 4 to 1? Well, I divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Okay? See, I'm not changing it from hours to minutes or anything. I'm just leaving it from hours to hours. This is a slightly different problem. But we want to use the same concept. And we've seen this before. If I can divide the denominator by 4, I can divide the numerator by 4 also. And 70,000 divided by 4, we're going to have to go like this and go up to our dashboard real quick. Do a quick calculator. 70,000 divided by 4, and just to see what we get, it's 17,500. So 17,500 is our answer. Let's see. Come on. I'm trying to get that. 17,500. There we go. Equals 17,500. It's definitely a calculator exercise. Alright, so you're not necessarily I'm not going to make you do long division here to do this, although it would be okay with me if you did. 70,000 divided by 4 equals 17,500 per hour. That's how fast it is. Wouldn't you like to be able to go 17,000 miles per hour? That would be awesome. But I think you'd have to be in space to manage that. Okay. One more. You earned 150 points for every note you successfully hit in a musical video game. So you get 150 points for every one note. You write it just like this. And it says, how many points did you earn? Well, it depends. Oh, it looks like you hit 25 notes. So it tells you that you hit 25 notes. So you keep track of that. Not motes, notes. There we go. And again, we're going to do the same thing, but instead of dividing, 1 goes into 25 5 times, so we're going to multiply by 25. And we're going to do the same thing up here. We're going to multiply by 25, and we're going to figure out what 150 times 25 is. All right, and again, I'm okay with you using a calculator for this type of a problem. I'll clear this out. Clear 150 times 25 is 3,750. So it's 3,750 like that, and so this is 3,750 points. And circle your answer. Okay, that's how it works, and that's how this assignment works. I think that you're ready to go. I guess one more. I know that some of you guys think that this video is long, and I know it feels long, but this is a kind of a tough concept. Say you're buying dog food and it costs you $17.20 for 20 pounds. 20 pounds. Or we could say lbs. Okay, that's pounds. We want to know what the unit rate is, so we want to know what that is for 1 pound. So if I want to know how much it is it for every 1 pound? This is just that division. We're going to divide by 20. Divide by 20. 20 divided by 20 is 1. So 1720 divided by 20 is some number. And again, straight to the calculator for this. 1720. 17.2. That's the same as 17.20. Okay, 17.20 or 17.2 equal. Divide by 20, and let's see what we get. Should be less than $1 a pound. It's 86.86, and that stands for 86 cents. Okay, so this is equal to 0.86 dollars. So that's 86 cents. So we changed from $17.20 to 86 cents per 1 pound of dog food. Pretty cool. All right, have fun.